till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is a tag.
Hi everyone and welcome to Protocol 36. Today's video will be talking about ways in Marvel Studios could introduce Logan aka James Howlett aka the Wolverine into the MCU, and to be clear, I do think Wolverine along with other mutants exist in the MCU, as I don't subscribe to the theories on how the mutants were created by the Infinity Stones. So in this video, this is me assuming that Logan is already around, and I'll be looking at different ways where they could introduce this new version of the character into this world. Before we get started, I would really appreciate if you could give this video a like and give this channel a chance by subscribing, as I post several videos a week, and make sure to click on the notification bell to get notified when I upload. Ever since Disney bought 21st Century Fox a few years back, multiple fans were thinking about the possibilities of having the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back home to Marvel, and how they could be introduced into the already established MCU. However, given the things we already know and saw in the MCU, they have somewhat already laid the seeds for Wolverine's introduction, as in the Incredible Hulk film, General Thunderbolt Ross basically revealed to Blonsky when he was working with Bruce Banner, he lied to him saying that he would be developing a serum which would be resistant to radiation, when in reality Ross was making them develop a version of the super soldier serum, just that they'd be using gamma radiation instead of Vita rays, which is what Project Rebirth was using back in World War II for Steve Rogers, which created the first successful super soldier, Captain America. When Ross was preparing what seems to be an old version of the super soldier serum for Blonsky in the same film, it was stored inside some kind of canister which was named Weapons Plus. If you know the history of Marvel Comics very well, you would know that Weapons Plus is extremely important to other Marvel characters like Luke Cage, Frank Simpson aka Nuke, Phantom X, Deadpool, also Captain America, who was under Project Rebirth as mentioned before, which is in fact Weapon 1, but most importantly for this video, Wolverine as in the comics. Weapon X, which is Weapon 10 in Roman numerals. Weapon X was the program which experimented on Logan, where they laced his skeletons and claws with adamantium, and Weapon X was one of the multiple weapons program which were all under Weapons Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel did go back to this and link it to Wolverine, as this is pretty much one of, if not the only evidence we have suggesting Wolverine's existence in the MCU. However, when they do introduce Wolverine into the MCU, I don't think they will show his origin story, since his origin story was shown and talked about multiple times in the Fox X-Men franchise. I do think they will mention it here and there, kinda like they did with Spider-Man in the MCU, and I don't think they will introduce him in an X-Men form either, especially if they're going to go with the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby route, doing the original 5 members of the X-Men, and Feige did say that they will be doing something different from the Fox X-Men films. However, right now it is too early to tell, but I could definitely be wrong, but something tells me that they won't. Mark Ruffalo did say at one point he would love to see a Hulk vs Wolverine film, and it would make perfect sense when it comes to introducing Wolverine into the MCU. In my opinion, if this does turn out to be real, and the reason why I say this is because in the Incredible Hulk comic 181, which is Wolverine's first appearance and fought the Hulk, though it is worth mentioning that he made his first cameo appearance in the issue before that. So in the MCU, instead of Hulk and Logan fighting in a Hulk film, because the universe owns the distribution rights of the Hulk, it would be in a Wolverine MCU film or in another MCU film, preferably a Wolverine solo film. Hulk vs Wolverine is one of the most iconic matchups in comics period, as the pair has fought multiple times in Marvel Comics, and it would be amazing to see them go up against each other on the big screen finally. Another way they could introduce Wolverine into the MCU is by having him show up in the upcoming Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus show, and the reason why I say Falcon and Winter Soldier is because of the set photos, which suggest that at some point in the show it will take place in the fictional country Metropole. Metropole is an important place for a character like Wolverine. It was the place where he met and teamed up with Captain America during World War II in the comics, and there were always rumors in the beginning of the year that Logan would appear in Falcon and Winter Soldier going under the alias Patch, which is an alias he went by in the comics. Even though I don't think we will see Logan anytime soon, we know that Feige wanted Wolverine to cameo as a soldier back when they were making Captain America the First Avenger, and also wanted a young Eric Lenshaw who grows up to be Magneto as a prisoner of war, showing that they were both present in World War II. But obviously, due to the fact that Marvel didn't have the rights to the mutants and the X-Men at the time, they couldn't use them. They could use Madripoor to set up Wolverine's appearance in the MCU down the line, but never say never. However, what about you guys? How do you think Marvel Studios will introduce Wolverine into the MCU? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like. Be sure to also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And one more, subscribe to begin Protocol 36.